The stars were calm that night. Too calm. In the deep silence of space, a single message traveled across thousands of light years. It came from the edge of the galaxy, from a planet the Galactic Council had never noticed before. The message was short, strange, and full of confidence. "This is Earth. Leave us alone." The message confused everyone in the council chamber. Admiral Zeltor of the Valori Empire laughed. "Leave us alone? From a primitive world? How charming." He tapped the hologram showing the small blue planet called Earth. "This species still burns fuel for flight. They don't even have faster-than-light travel. Easy conquest." But not everyone agreed. A few diplomats looked uneasy. "Admiral, the humans destroyed an invasion fleet once. The Drexens tried to land there." "Old myths," Zeltor interrupted. "No primitive can fight the conquered." He ordered his ships to prepare for Operation Subdue. A fleet of 20 battleships was sent toward the Sol system. It was meant to be a warning, a show of power, but the warning would soon go both ways. On Earth, the United Defense Network detected the incoming ships days before they entered the solar system. For years, world governments had been watching the stars, ever since the first flash, a strange light seen beyond Mars. In underground command centers, humans began to prepare. General Elena Ruiz stood before the Global Defense Board. "Unknown fleet approaching," she said calmly. "Estimate, hostile intent." Someone in the room whispered, "They don't know who they're dealing with." Humans had changed since their last wars. They had built orbital cannons, hidden drone networks, and AI command systems. But more important than their weapons, they had unity. For the first time in history, all nations stood together under one purpose: survive. The alien fleet entered orbit above Mars. They expected fear. They expected surrender. What they saw was silence. Then, from Earth's moon, a message came through their channels, clear, calm, and human. "We know why you're here. You want control. But understand this: we are not your prey." The aliens laughed. Their commander sent back his own message. "Surrender now, humans. Your planet will be spared." The reply came only seconds later, short and cold. "Try us." The first shot of the war was supposed to be symbolic, a warning blast fired into an empty field in Africa. But the plasma cannon never fired, because before it could charge, 3 human missiles struck the alien cruiser at light speed. The explosion was so bright it could be seen from orbit. Admiral Zeltor screamed in disbelief. "They hit us first. How did they even—" On his screen, human drones appeared, hundreds of them, rising from the atmosphere like a swarm of silver insects. The Admiral felt something he had never felt before: fear. He turned to his second officer. "They were supposed to surrender." The officer swallowed. "Sir, they're advancing." From the surface of Earth, General Ruiz watched the battle begin. She whispered to her team, "They wanted a demonstration. Let's give them one." The human fleet launched from the moon, streaking toward Mars. The world watched in silence as humanity went to war, not to conquer, not to rule, but to protect their home. And that night, across the stars, the galaxy heard the first whispers of a new legend. The day the galaxy would learn why you don't threaten humans. The smoke from the first battle still drifted above Mars. Half of the Valori fleet was gone. The rest floated in silence, systems broken, captains frozen in shock. Admiral Zeltor had never lost before. His people were conquerors. They ruled 10 worlds. But now a single planet of primitive humans had destroyed his flagship in under a minute. His second officer trembled. "Admiral, should we retreat?" Zeltor slammed his clawed hand on the console. "Retreat? Never. Prepare all ships. I want Earth burning before this cycle ends." But even as his words echoed across the bridge, something strange appeared on the radar. Hundreds of small dots, fast-moving, rising from the blue planet below. "Sir, incoming objects and too fast to track," the officer shouted. Before Zeltor could respond, the dots split into formation. Missiles, thousands of them, each one locked on a target. Down on Earth, General Elena Ruiz watched the feed from the orbital satellites. Her voice stayed calm. Phase 2. Launch defense grid. Across the world, hidden silos opened. The sky filled with light as Earth's first space defense network came alive. Drones, missiles, and railguns targeted anything that entered near orbit. Humans didn't wait to be attacked. They struck first. Ruiz turned to her staff. We warned them. Now we finish this. In orbit, the Valori ships fired back, desperate to stop the incoming storm. But human weapons were unpredictable. They didn't follow standard battle logic. Some missiles split mid-flight into smaller warheads. Others cloaked themselves in electronic noise. The alien shields failed one by one. Each explosion lit up the black sky with a red glow. Admiral, we've lost shields on ships 5 through 9. Divert power. There's no time, sir. They're everywhere. Then came the human fleet. Not elegant like Valori cruisers, but powerful and fast. Built from metal, sweat, and pure human stubbornness. Zeltor saw them and whispered, they built warships, in secret. The battle above Mars became chaos. Alien ships tried to form defensive lines, but the humans didn't play by galactic rules. They attacked from unexpected angles, from asteroid shadows, from behind Mars's moons, from the planet's own dust storms. For every human ship destroyed, 3 more aliens fell. One Valori captain shouted over the comms, Admiral, they're not afraid of dying. Zeltor froze. In his culture, fear was control. Armies obeyed because they feared punishment. But these humans, they fought because they refused to lose. On Earth, people across every country watched the sky. News screens showed the bright flashes over Mars. Children asked their parents, are we winning? And parents, for the first time in history, answered, yes. Human unity grew stronger with every victory. Scientists, engineers, and soldiers worked side by side. Within hours, they adapted captured alien tech. A new command was sent to all fleets. Humanity will not stop at Mars. Prepare for advance. Far from the battle, in the Galactic Council Hall, alien ambassadors argued. How could this happen? One shouted. They are a level 0 civilization. Another whispered. Then perhaps we are the ones who misjudged them. A silence spread through the chamber. For centuries, the galaxy had looked down on Earth, a young species, too emotional, too wild. But now fear began to replace arrogance, because somewhere in their hearts they all knew, if humans could fight like this with primitive tools, what would happen when they mastered the stars? As the second day of war ended, Admiral Zeltor watched his last ships fall. He whispered softly, we wanted to teach them fear, and now I am the one afraid. The humans didn't stop. They were coming. The war above Mars was over. The Valori fleet, destroyed. Only wreckage and silence floated where once the proud alien armada had stood. From orbit, Earth's satellites watched the aftermath. No celebration, no cheering, only quiet respect. Because humans knew this was just the beginning. General Elena Ruiz stood before the global broadcast camera. Her voice was calm but cold. To any who can hear us among the stars, we do not seek war. But if war comes to us again, know that humanity will answer. That message, translated into dozens of alien languages, traveled through space at light speed. Within days, it reached the outer colonies, then the Galactic Council itself. In the shining halls of the Council, chaos broke out. Ambassadors from 100 species shouted over each other. They destroyed the Valori fleet. Impossible. That was one of our strongest militaries. They used nuclear weapons in orbit. Madness. At the center sat High Chancellor Vorin, a calm reptilian elder whose species had ruled the galaxy for centuries. He raised one clawed hand. The room fell silent. Bring me the recordings, he ordered. Moments later, holograms filled the chamber, showing human ships darting between Valori cruisers, missiles exploding in clouds of fire, and finally, a human voice saying, "Try us." Vorin's golden eyes narrowed. So this is humanity, one advisor whispered. A dangerous species, Chancellor. They must be contained before they expand. Another said softly, "Or perhaps they could become allies." Vorin shook his head. "No, not yet. First, we must understand what drives them." Meanwhile, back on Earth, the world had changed forever. Every country worked together. Factories turned into shipyards. Satellites became defense stations. And for the first time in history, there was one flag above them all, a white star over a blue circle, the symbol of the United Terran Fleet. General Ruiz looked at the screen showing the damaged alien wreckage still floating near Mars. "Recover everything," she ordered. "Engines, data, weapons, learn it all." Human scientists began reverse engineering alien technology. What took the Valori centuries to create, humans adapted in weeks. They learned faster than anyone expected, and they were only getting started. In the council hall, panic spread as reports came in. Humans have repaired 3 alien drives. They have created their own faster-than-light ship. They are testing weapons near Jupiter. Chancellor Vorin turned to his generals. "If this continues, humanity will join the stars within months." A general asked, "Do we strike them again, Chancellor?" Vorin's eyes darkened. "No. We send a message." Days later, a massive ship appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. It did not fire. It broadcasted one signal, repeating every hour. "Humans of Earth, the Galactic Council requests a meeting. Do not attack." General Ruiz stared at the message. Around her, advisors argued. Some said to accept, others said to prepare weapons. She stayed silent for a long moment, then said, "Tell them, we'll listen, but on our terms." Across the galaxy, fear and curiosity spread together. Who were these humans who fought like demons and learned like machines? Who stood united even under threat? Whispers began in the alien markets and colonies. If they can defeat the Valori, who can stop them? The name human became a warning, a word spoken with respect and fear. And far above the stars, as Earth's first faster-than-light ship prepared for launch, a quiet truth echoed through the galaxy. The humans were no longer just defending their world. They were coming to join the stars. And the galaxy was not ready. The Galactic Council had not met in full session for 1,000 years, but now every seat was filled. From insectoid warlords to crystalline scholars, they had all come, drawn by one word whispered across the stars: humans. The chamber glowed with cold blue light. At the center stood High Chancellor Vorin, his expression heavy. He watched the recordings from Mars again, the destruction of the Valori fleet, the humans' message, the rise of the United Terran Fleet. Each replay ended the same way: silence and fear. "They adapt too quickly," one general said. "They are emotional, unpredictable," added another. Vorin's tail twitched. "They are dangerous, not because of their power, but because of their will." Across the galaxy, reports kept coming in. Human ships now traveled beyond Jupiter. A massive space station was being built. Humans called it the Forge. There, alien technology was being copied, upgraded, and made even more powerful. The Council knew that once humans mastered faster-than-light travel, nothing could stop them from reaching other worlds. "We cannot let them spread," a council member from the Kith species hissed. "Strike now before they grow stronger." But others disagreed. A tall, silver-skinned diplomat stood up. "Attack them again, and we may start a war no one can win. They destroyed the Valori in days. Imagine what they could do in years." The chamber erupted in noise. Fear, anger, confusion. Finally, Chancellor Vorin raised his voice. "Enough. We will not act in haste. Send spies. Study them. Learn their weaknesses. If they threaten the balance of the galaxy, we will decide what must be done." Meanwhile, on Earth, humanity was preparing for something far bigger than defense. At the Forge, engineers worked day and night. Sparks lit the metal corridors as they built their first interstellar ship, the Horizon. General Elena Ruiz stood watching the construction. Her voice carried through the comms. "We fought to survive. Now we prepare to explore. But if anyone threatens Earth again, we'll be ready." The crew cheered. They knew the risks, But they also knew what it meant. Humans were no longer trapped on one planet. Far away, a small stealth craft approached Earth. Inside it sat an alien spy, Serac, a slender being from the Council's intelligence division. His mission was simple: observe the humans and report back. He landed unseen on the dark side of the moon, activated his drone, and began recording. At first, what he saw shocked him. Humans arguing, laughing, working together, fighting problems side by side. "They are not what we expected," Serac whispered. "They fight like beasts, but they build like artists." One night, his drone captured a conversation between two human engineers. "Do you think the aliens will come back?" one asked. The other smiled. "Let them. This time we'll be ready." Serac felt a strange chill, admiration mixed with fear. He had studied many species, but none had this fire. Weeks later, Serac's ship transmitted his report back to the Council. But the message was intercepted by humans. They traced it, decoded it, and learned the truth. The galaxy was afraid of them. General Ruiz read the file quietly. Then she turned to her officers. "So they're watching us. Good. Let them watch. But make sure they see what we want them to see." She smiled, not out of arrogance, but confidence. Back in the council hall, Chancellor Vorin received the final line of Serac's report. "If humans ever decide to expand, no force in the galaxy will stop them. They will not conquer out of greed, but out of survival. And they will win." Vorin's eyes darkened. "Then," he said slowly, "we must stop them before it's too late." And with that, the council began planning something dangerous. A secret alliance to destroy humanity before they reached the stars. Deep in space beyond the orbit of Pluto, the darkness waited. It was quiet, cold, and endless. Perfect for an ambush. The Galactic Council had made their decision. Humanity was growing too fast. They would not attack Earth directly again. This time, they would make it look like an accident, a simple space incident that no one could trace. 5 Council warships hid behind a dead moon, their hulls cloaked and silent. Their orders were simple: destroy the human ship. The horizon the moment it left the solar system. High Chancellor Vorin watched from the command center of the lead ship. "End this before it begins," he said coldly. "Humanity must remain on their planet." On Earth, excitement filled the air. The horizon, humanity's first faster-than-light ship, was ready for launch. It was a symbol of everything humans had fought for: survival, unity, and freedom among the stars. General Elena Ruiz stood with her crew in the control room. "All systems green," reported the captain. "Engines charging for first FTL jump." Ruiz smiled. "This is it. The next step for mankind." Around the world, people watched the broadcast. Children waved flags, families cheered, and scientists held their breath. Humanity was finally reaching beyond the solar system. But no one knew what waited in the dark. As the horizon accelerated toward the edge of the system, strange readings appeared on its radar. "Captain, I'm detecting something. Multiple signatures. They're not showing transponders." Ruiz frowned. "Unknown ships?" "Yes, ma'am. And they're in attack formation." Before she could respond, the stars lit up. 5 bright flashes, Council warships decloaking. Then came the first shot. A beam of blue energy sliced through the void, hitting the horizon's shields. The ship shuddered violently. "Shields at 70%, shouted the engineer. Ruiz's calm voice cut through the panic. "Activate defense drones. Return fire. They wanted to meet us. Let's greet them properly." The void of space exploded into chaos. Human defense drones shot out like a swarm of metal hornets. They were small, fast, and deadly. The alien warships fired again, but the drones weaved through the blasts and struck back with precision. One alien ship's engines exploded, sending fragments spinning into the dark. On the command deck of the Council's lead ship, Vorin's eyes widened. "They have drones in deep space. Impossible," his officer shouted. "They must have planned this," Vorin snarled. "No one could have known." But he was wrong. The humans did know. Days before launch, Ruiz's intelligence team had intercepted fragments of alien transmissions, code words like containment, ambush, and horizon. They didn't tell the world. They simply prepared. Now, as the battle raged, Ruiz spoke quietly into her comm. Operation Mirror, begin now. Miles away, hidden in the shadow of Pluto, 2 more human warships uncloaked, Vigilance and Hammerfall. Their cannons glowed bright white as they charged. In seconds, the battlefield turned. The hunters became the hunted. On Voron's ship, alarms screamed. 2 human warships incoming, they're firing. The Chancellor stared in disbelief. They set a trap. For us? The blast hit. His ship spun, systems failing. As the view screen flickered, he saw the horizon fly past, unharmed, engines glowing like a rising sun. Before losing consciousness, he whispered, "We tried to stop them. And now, they're beyond our reach." The horizon jumped to faster than light speed, vanishing into the unknown. On board, the crew cheered. Ruiz looked out the window, where stars stretched into beautiful lines of light. "They tried to end us," she said softly. "But we're just getting started." Back in the council hall, silence fell. Their trap had failed. And worse, they had revealed their fear. Now the whole galaxy would know. The humans had not only survived the trap, they had outsmarted it. When the horizon reappeared from faster-than-light travel, the crew fell silent. Before them stretched a new star system, golden sun, 3 planets, 1 blue-green world. It wasn't Earth, but it looked alive. General Elena Ruiz stared at the view. "Mark this system," she said quietly. "We'll call it Haven." For a long moment, no one spoke. Humanity had done the impossible. They had reached another star. Every person on board felt it, pride, hope, and a little fear. They weren't just defending Earth anymore. They were becoming something bigger. News of the horizon's jump spread across the galaxy. Alien networks buzzed with panic. Humans have achieved FTL. They survived the ambush. The Council failed. In the grand chambers of the Galactic Council, Chancellor Voron stood before angry delegates. "You promised to contain them," shouted a senator from the Kith species. "You said they would never leave their system," another hissed. Voron raised his voice. "I promised balance. But humans, they defy balance itself." He turned to the massive hologram showing the horizon landing on the planet Haven. "Look at them," he said bitterly. "They adapt, they survive, and they build. They are not just another species. They are a force." On Haven, humans began to explore. The air was breathable, the soil rich, the oceans deep and blue. It was perfect for settlement. Captain Reyes of the Horizon smiled as he looked across the alien landscape. "Reminds me of Earth," he said. Ruiz nodded. "Then let's make sure we don't repeat Earth's mistakes." Within weeks, humans built their first outpost, New Dawn Base. Solar towers rose under foreign skies. Human flags waved in alien winds. For the first time, humanity stood on another world, free and unafraid. Back in space, alien spies watched from a distance. One whispered to another, "They build too fast." The other replied, "They don't just build, they believe." The images of humans working together, planting flags and helping each other spread across the galaxy like wildfire. And something unexpected began to happen. Many alien species, once afraid of the Council, started to hope. If humans could stand against the Council and survive, maybe they could too. A few light years away, Chancellor Voron stared out the window of his command ship. His aide approached. "Chancellor, should we attack again?" Voron shook his head slowly. "No. Each time we strike, they grow stronger. If we destroy one ship, they'll build 10 more. They learn faster than any race I've seen." He looked at the stars. "Do you know what frightens me the most?" he said quietly. "They don't conquer for power. They conquer fear itself." Months passed. On Earth, the United Terran fleet expanded. Dozens of ships were built. Explorers, defenders, scientists, and traders. The humans named their growing force the Dawn Armada. General Ruiz addressed the world from orbit. "We will not invade, we will not enslave. But if the galaxy seeks to control us again, they will learn, once more, why you don't threaten humans." Her voice echoed across every channel. Billions watched, billions listened, and across the galaxy, billions believed. Chancellor Vorin listened to that same message in silence. His generals shifted nervously. "What now, sir?" one asked. Vorin turned away from the screen. "Now?" He took a deep breath. "Now we prepare for the day they come. Because when humans rise, they don't stop." In the skies above Haven, the Horizon launched again, its engines burning bright against the stars. And somewhere, across the galaxy, a new chapter began. Humanity had risen, not as conquerors, but as survivors. The galaxy watched in silence, because everyone knew what was coming next. 10 years had passed since the Battle of Mars. In that time, humanity had changed everything. They had built colonies on 3 worlds, established trade with friendly races, and turned their once fragile planet into the heart of a growing interstellar civilization. The United Terran Fleet, now 1,000 strong, guarded the stars with quiet confidence. But peace, as always, never lasted long. In the Galactic Council Hall, tension filled the air. Reports poured in. Human fleets expanding toward Council space. New alliances forming around Earth. Smaller empires joining them willingly. The alien leaders were panicking. "They are spreading like fire," shouted one. "They'll consume us all," cried another. Chancellor Vorin sat in silence, eyes cold. He remembered the first time he saw Earth Ant's message, that simple warning, "Leave us alone." Now he realized it hadn't been a threat, it had been a promise. At that same moment, in orbit above the planet Haven, the humans prepared for their final meeting with the Council. General Elena Ruiz, older now, stood aboard the flagship Eclipse, gazing at the stars. Her second-in-command spoke softly. "Ma'am, Council ships approaching. Massive formation, 20 warships." Ruiz nodded. "Then it's time." The message went out to all ships in the human fleet. "No aggression. Hold your fire. Let's show them who we are." When the Council fleet arrived, they didn't attack. Instead, a single shuttle broke formation and flew toward Eclipse. Inside was Chancellor Vorin himself. He was escorted into the command chamber where Ruiz waited. For a moment, both stood in silence. The alien who once feared humanity, and the human who had united a world. Vorin spoke first. "You could have destroyed us years ago. Why didn't you?" Ruiz looked out the window at the shining planet below. "Because destruction isn't strength," she said. "Survival is, and we survived everything you threw at us." Vorin's voice trembled. "You've changed the balance of the galaxy." Ruiz smiled faintly. "No, we reminded it what strength really is." Vorin lowered his gaze. "Then, what will you do now?" Ruiz stepped closer. "We will build, we will explore, and we will protect those who can't protect themselves. But if anyone tries to threaten us again," her voice turned cold, "they'll learn in the same way you did, why you done it threaten humans." The room went silent. Vorin looked at her, then nodded slowly. "Perhaps. We all have something to learn from you." Days later, the Galactic Council signed a new treaty, one that changed everything. It was called the Concord of Haven, a promise of peace, built not on fear, but on respect. And at the center of that peace stood humanity. Across the stars, stories began to spread, of how a once primitive species stood against the galaxy and won. Children on distant worlds learned new words in their schools: human courage, human unity, human will. Years later, when historians asked how it all began, the answer was always the same. It began with a warning. It grew through fire and loss, and it ended with a truth that echoed through every world in the galaxy. The day you threaten humans is the day you meet your end. As the eclipse sailed through the endless stars, General Ruiz looked out one last time. Her eyes reflected the light of countless worlds waiting to be discovered, and she whispered softly, "For Earth, for humanity, for the universe. We're not dangerous because we hate. We're dangerous because we care." The stars stretched before her like a sea of fire, and for the first time in galactic history, the universe truly understood why you never threaten humans.